What's going on, baseball fans? How are we doing? So we have the MLB Trade Deadline coming up, and in this video, I wanted to go over 10 trades that I want to see. Let's go talk about it. Okay, first up, I have Nelson Cruz going to the Athletics for Jeff CRISWELL and Logan Davidson. If we go take a look at the prospects heading back to the Twins, you get a shortstop prospect, Royce Lewis. Who knows what's going on with Royce Lewis? This guy has been a top prospect now for a few years. I don't think it would hurt to add some up-the-middle talent in a Logan Davidson. He's in Double-A right now. He's not too far away, but they're also going to get a pitching prospect out of it, Jeff CRISWELL. I think that would be a good addition for the Twins farm system. Pretty decent fastball, decent slider, decent changeup. Needs to work on the control, but I think, hey, for the Twins, they're getting a pitching prospect out of it. But for the A's, as of right now, Mitch Moreland is the designated hitter for the Oakland A's. He's not really getting it done this year. I love me some Mitchie two bags, but for the Oakland A's, I think they need to find an upgrade here, and he could be a good left-handed bat off the bench because as of right now, only hitting .238, .295 on base, 7 home runs. So like I said, I think he would be more better suited as a left-handed bat off the bench. Get Nelson Cruz in there because Nelson Cruz is having a phenomenal season so far. If we go take a look, this guy just doesn't age. I mean, the older he gets, the better he gets. He's hitting .299, 19 home runs, a .375 on base, a .545 slugging. I think he would be a tremendous addition for that Oakland A's lineup that are looking to make a run in the AL West. And if they get to the playoffs, having Nelson Cruz in the middle of that lineup, I think that could be pretty dangerous. Up next, I have Kris Bryant going to the Mets for prospects Alex Ramirez, Junior Santos, and Mark Vientos. I think Kris Bryant would be a solid addition for that Mets lineup. They've been ravaged by injuries this year. Francisco Lindor just went down. You don't know what you're going to get out of J.D. Davis health-wise. I think Kris Bryant, and this is a guy, he could play third, he can go to the outfield, he can play some first, so he can move around, so he'll fit on that Mets roster. If they can make the playoffs, I think they're going to be a dangerous team. They just got to get better health-wise. Kris Bryant would be a great addition, hitting .265, 16 home runs, a .345 on base, a .490 slugging, 48 RBIs as of right now. I think he would be really good for the Mets down the stretch. For the Cubs, they're going to be getting some decent prospects. You're going to be getting the number 8 prospect, Mark Vientos, more of a power-hitting third baseman. You're going to be getting Alex Ramirez, an outfielder, kind of an all-around balanced outfielder. And then you're going to be getting Junior Santos, who's currently in A-ball, has a good fastball, okay slider, okay changeup, needs to work on the control. But I think these 3 prospects for the Cubs would be solid additions, and I think Kris Bryant would be perfect for the Mets down the stretch. Staying with the Cubs, I have Craig Kimbrel and Cash going to the San Francisco Giants, and going back to the Cubs, I have prospects Seth Corey and Casey Schmidt. Craig Kimbrel having a phenomenal year this year, a 0.53 ERA over 35 games, 58 strikeouts through about 34 innings. The guy's FIP is insane, a 1.09 FIP, 15 strikeouts per 9, a great bounce back season for Craig Kimbrel. And going back to the Cubs, you're getting a couple of pretty decent prospects here. You're getting Seth Corey, a left-handed pitching prospect, pretty balanced all around. He's a 55 overall. I think that would be a really good addition for the Cubs farm system. And if we go take a look, they're getting Casey Schmidt, third base prospect. Not really too much with the hit tool right now. I mean, a 50 power tool. He has a good arm and he's good in the field, so they would need to work with him offensively. The Cubs have done well developing position players and guys, and getting their hit tools improved. I think Casey Schmidt could be a pretty solid addition for the Cubs. Overall, this is the trade I want to see. I would love to see Craig Kimbrel go to the San Francisco Giants. This was a team, their bullpen was shaky in the beginning of the year. It has stabilized as of late, but if they can add an arm like a Craig Kimbrel to the back end of that bullpen, especially with teams like the Dodgers and the Padres that they're going neck and neck with down the stretch, I think Craig Kimbrel, he could be a game changer. Up next, I have Joey Gallo going to the Chicago White Sox for Dylan Cease and prospect Luis Gonzalez. I think Joey Gallo would be a perfect addition to the White Sox lineup. They are going to be getting Eloy Jimenez back soon. They are going to be getting Luis Robert back soon. But Joey Gallo, right field as of right now, is a gaping hole for the White Sox. Joey Gallo would fit seamlessly into that lineup. This guy's having a great year. 233 average, 24 home runs, 52 RBIs, a 391 on base. Sure, the guy strikes out a lot, but he gets a ton of walks, so he's going to get on base. He runs the base as well. I would love Joey Gallo in this lineup for the Chicago White Sox. They only rank 22nd in home runs on the year. I think that bat would be perfect for that Chicago White Sox lineup. And in return, Dylan Cease, a young pitcher going back to the White Sox. He's having a pretty good year this year, but I think the White Sox, I understand you're going to be giving up a young pitcher here, but if you want to get a premier bat like a Joey Gallo, who you're also going to have for next year too, I think Dylan Cease, I think could be, I mean, he makes up the gap value-wise. That would really only cost you one guy and a prospect on top of it to just kind of sweeten the pot. Dylan Cease, I think would be good for a Rangers team. They are saying that they're close to being in contention, so Dylan Cease kind of fits around that time frame, 25 years old. I think would be good for that rotation that they're trying to rebuild. And then you're getting a prospect in Luis Gonzalez. If we go take a look at him very quickly. So he is their number 10 prospect as of right now in the Chicago White Sox system. He is in AAA. Hey, he's got a decent hit tool, not really too much with the power, but a pretty athletic guy, 55 run tool, 60 arm, 50 field. So Luis Gonzalez, that's just another guy to stash away in your farm system. Overall, I think if the White Sox can land a Joey Gallo, that would be huge for their lineup. Up next, I have Trevor Story and Daniel Bard going to the LA Angels for prospects Jordan Adams, Jack Economix, and Jose Iglesias. So let's go take a look at this. Trevor Story, I think, would be a great addition for the LA Angels. If we go take a look right now at how the Angels are ranking in fielding, they are terrible defensively, and Jose Iglesias has been kind of a bummer when it comes to the defense. As of right now, the Angels rank second to last. Jose Iglesias has -6 defensive run saved this year. He's not really doing a good job at that spot. I think they could use an upgrade, get a Trevor Story. I mean, who knows? Maybe if he ends up liking it there, maybe he'll end up re-signing long-term for the Angels. I think that could be a good shortstop for their system. Trevor Story, I mean, he's not having a typical Trevor Story kind of a year, but he still is playing phenomenal defense. He's giving you a little bit with the bat, 242 average, 11 home runs, 43 RBIs. On base is a little low, 315. But going along with Trevor Story would be Daniel Bard. Daniel Bard, I think, would be a really good addition for that LA Angels bullpen, trying to make a run in the second half. And the one thing about Daniel Bard is you're going to have him for next year too. Daniel Bard, he missed like, what, 7 years, and he's come back and is looking pretty solid. 3.96 ERA over the 38 games. If we take a look at the FIP of 3.77, so a little bit better there. He's still striking out a lot of guys. I think Daniel Bard would be a good addition for the back end of that bullpen. And going back to the Rockies, they're getting a couple of prospects. They're taking back Jose Iglesias here, so they'll have a shortstop there. But in this deal, they're going to have to give up their number 3 prospect, Jordan Adams, uber athletic guy, 50 hit tool, 50 power, but look at the run. I mean, this is a, holy cow, very athletic guy. I think he would fit very well in the Rockies system. And also we're getting Jack Economix here, pitching prospect as of right now, the number 6 prospect. Big fastball, curveball changeup. I mean, you would like for, especially in Coors Field, to either add, a sinker or, a slider, something like that. So maybe they can work with him on something like that, or they can take a different pitching prospect as well. And then they're getting back Jose Iglesias in this deal as well to fill the gap at short. So overall, I think this would really help the Angels. For the Rockies, they're getting a couple of decent prospects in return. So yeah, I would love this deal. Up next, I have Adam Frazier going to the Seattle Mariners for 3 prospects: Zach DeLoach, Brandon Williamson, and Juan Then. I think the Seattle Mariners, they're a fun team this year. I think could be a dark horse candidate for a guy like Adam Frazier, who is under control, and they'll have him for next year too. Adam Frazier is having a very good year this year. 325 average, 4 home runs, a 390 on base. Not really too much with the power, but this is a guy that can get you a ton of hits. He can move around, play different positions. I think this would be really good. And for the Pirates, hey, just continuing to rebuild that farm system, getting number 7 prospect Juan Then, righty with a 55 fastball, 55 control. So we also have Brandon Williamson, a left-handed pitching prospect, big fastball, decent curveball. He's a 4-pitch guy. And then you're also getting Zach DeLoach, outfielder, who's, got a 55 run, so a bit of athleticism there, a 55 hit, I think would fit really well into this Pirate system. I would love to see an Adam Frazier on the Seattle Mariners for a team. They're in the hunt. Who knows? Maybe we could see them make a run down the stretch. Up next, I have Kyle Gibson going to the Toronto Blue Jays, and going back to the Texas Rangers, I have Thomas Hatch and Miguel Hiraldo. I think Kyle Gibson would be a perfect addition for the Toronto Blue Jays rotation. Not a free agent until after next season, but Kyle Gibson is having himself a career year. ERA has kind of been ticking up a little in the last couple of starts, but Kyle Gibson overall in the year, 6-2, a 2.86 ERA over over the 18 games. Kyle Gibson has been having a very decent year. FIP is still looking pretty strong as well, a 3.62. If we go take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays rotation, Robbie Ray, Hyun-Jin Ryu, Steven Matz, Ross Stripling, and Thomas Hatch. I think for the Blue Jays, they're right there in contention. You're getting a Kyle Gibson, and even if they don't make it this year to the playoffs, at least they'll have Kyle Gibson for next year, so they won't have to worry about that rotation slot. In this case, they would have to give up a Thomas Hatch. As of right now, Thomas Hatch is only 26 years old, young pitcher going back to the Rangers. Again, the Rangers trying to rebuild that pitching with young pitching. If we take a look, as of right now in AAA, he's been having a pretty decent year, a 2.15 ERA in AAA so far. The FIP is a little higher at 4.45, so got to keep an eye out for that. But a decent amount of strikeouts. The walks could go a little lower. So I think if you could get a Kyle Gibson and you're only giving up, a Thomas Hatch in this case, as well as a Miguel Hiraldo. Let's go take a look at Miguel Hiraldo. This would be a power hitting third base prospect to add to your system. As of right now, he is the number 7 prospect for the Toronto Blue Jays. As you can see, an okay hit tool, but the power is at 55. That's above average. He has a good arm, so this could be a future third baseman for you down the road. I think if you can get a Kyle Gibson for the Blue Jays, I think that would be great for the rotation, and it would be good for next year as well. In my next trade, I have Jose Berrios going to the Tampa Bay Rays for prospects Xavier Edwards and JJ Goss. Jose Berrios, I think, would be a great fit for the Tampa Bay Rays rotation. He's going to be under control for next season as well. Losing Tyler Glasnow, a huge blow. I think they really could use some rotation help. If we go take a look here at the Rays rotation currently, it's not bad actually, but I do get a little worried about Rich Hill. I'm wondering, hey, 41 years old now. He's had some arm issues in the past. How is he going to hold up down the stretch? But they do have some other arms here as well. I mean, Ryan Yarbrough, McClanahan's having a really good year. Michael Walk is having a pretty decent bounce back year. Fleming as well. I think if you can add a guy like a Jose Berrios, that's just going to be very consistent for you down the stretch. A 3.69 ERA, 7-4, 122 strikeouts over 115 innings. FIP is looking pretty decent at 3.65. I think Jose Berrios, I feel like with the Twins, he's been very good, but I think if you can go to the Rays, they just do very well with their pitchers. I think maybe they could help Jose Berrios take it to the next level. I think, and then if you do get a Tyler Glasnow back eventually, that would be a pretty decent 1-2 punch for the playoffs. A Tyler Glasnow and a Jose Berrios, I think that would be really good. And going back to the Twins in this trade, you're getting Xavier Edwards, their number 4 prospect. I mean, they have so many middle infield guys right now. Wander Franco, Vidal Brujan just came up this year. And then, I mean, we had Walls come up this year too. It just feels like Xavier Edwards is just another one of these infield prospects. I mean, where is he in this system? Is he even going to be able to get an opportunity at the major leagues? But I think with the Twins, that could be really good. This guy is clearly a hit tool, guys. 60 hit, only 30 power, very athletic, a 70 run tool. This could be a guy that could be, a future everyday player for the Twins. And then they're also getting JJ Goss, first round pick back from 2019. 55 fastball, 60 slider, 55 changeup, 55 control. So JJ Goss has the tools to be able to come a fixture in a rotation every day. Overall, I think this would be a good trade all the way around. It would help it would stabilize that Rays rotation a little bit. Definitely help set them up for the playoffs. And then for the Twins, you're getting 2 really solid prospects in return. In my next trade, I have Whit Merrifield going to the Yankees, and going back to the Royals, I have Davy Garcia, Oswald Peraza, and Ryder Green. I think Whit Merrifield would be a perfect fit for the New York Yankees. If we go take a look at the Yankees currently, the Yankees, they have been trying to find ways to get this offense going. I think Whit Merrifield is an all-around guy that can just really help that lineup out. He's a good base runner. He's going to get you hits. He's just a good veteran guy to have in your lineup. The Yankees right now, I mean, they're having some injuries as well. I think Whit Merrifield, the fact that he's flexible, I think would really help that Yankees team. He can basically play outfield, second base, wherever. But for the Royals, you're going to be getting back 3 pretty good young players. Davy Garcia has already had a taste of the major leagues, so that's a major league ready arm in a Davy Garcia. And Oswald Peraza, as of right now, he is the number 4 prospect, playing very well down in AAA. This is an athletic shortstop that could be really good for the Royals down the road. Sure, they have Bobby Witt Jr., but maybe he could slide over to the second. He has a good arm. Maybe he could slide over to third. I think that would be a really good prospect for that system. And then you're getting a Ryder Green. If you take a look, outfield prospect as of right now, an A-ball. More of a power hitting guy as of right now, but he has a good arm out there too. So overall, I think this would really help the Yankees. Whit Merrifield, I think, is just a really solid player that just feels like a New York Yankee to me. Hitting .272 on the year, 8 home runs, a .320 on base, and 51 RBIs. But look at the stolen bases, 24 stolen bases. He's very good on the bases. I think that would really help the Yankees a lot. And again, he's versatile. He can move around. I think Whit Merrifield would be a perfect fit for the New York Yankees. Last but not least, I have Max Scherzer, Daniel Hudson, and prospect Matt Cronin going to the Padres for their #1 prospect, Mackenzie Gore. I think if you can get a Max Scherzer in San Diego, that could almost seal the deal for you. If we go take a look for the Padres, number 13 in starting pitching as of right now. They've had some injuries with that rotation this year. Donaldson Lamet, who knows what you're going to get out of him. Chris Paddock's been a little up and down. Blake Snell has been a slight disappointment this year for the Padres, but you already have a Yu Darvish there. Joe Musgrove's having a good year. Max Scherzer with that 2.83 ERA, all of those strikeouts, that FIP of 3.49. I think Max Scherzer would be a perfect fit for the San Diego Padres. They would also be getting a Daniel Hudson, who would be great for that bullpen down the stretch. You would also be getting a prospect in return to fill the hole left behind by a Mackenzie Gore. He is struggling this year in the minor leagues. He is your #1 prospect, but maybe he can find his footing with the Nationals. And I think this would be good for the Padres because with a Max Scherzer, his agent Scott Boras has said that wherever Max Scherzer goes, he wants to work out some kind of an extension. So at least with a Max Scherzer, more than likely you're going to have him for another year or two, probably more 2-3 years, I would think, with the Max Scherzer. He's still looking very good at 36 years old. I think this would be really good for the Padres, makes them a bona fide World Series contender for the Nationals. It would sting to lose a Max Scherzer, but at least you're getting the #1 prospect in their system. Still one of the top pitching prospects in baseball. Again, he is struggling, so maybe the Nationals can figure it out for him. Ends up being a starter for them down the road. Overall, I think this would be a really good trade for both sides. So those are the trades that I want to see this year. Tell me what you think down below. Tell me some trades that you want to see by the trade deadline this year. But that's all I have for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.